The original intention of the film was just for my personal use, but I thought with it being such a unique thing that I'd like to offer it to anybody who wants to see it. Things like that. And it's just a unique film of him.
He says, I beat you. He says, they say we came in under the dead of heat. He says, that's not true because I beat you. And the American said, well, he says, if you like to think so, he says, but I know the real story. He says, I know I clearly won that one.
Author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kep at CKOEPP.com today.
The sun peeks over the horizon. Your excitement builds. The animals in the field start to stir. The forest comes alive with sounds. The sunlight glimmers off the lake, and the mountains start to shed their morning fog. So load up your favorite ammo, grab a few buddies, and head out to make some memories. And tell the rest of the world that you've gone hunting. Gone Hunting is a 1 to 4 player game of family fun where you build a unique hunting ground, scout different animals, buy weapons and gear, and roll dice to hunt. Complete objectives and try not to miss. So let's load up the truck and back Gone Hunting today. See you in the field.
I'ma get it, you know I be on a what? Yeah. You know I be on a what? Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on a what? Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving this at all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work.
Bringing you sex, sass, and style. Buckle up and unlock your imagination for a fun adventure with these death-dealing dames. They sail the galaxy in search of spoils. The most dangerous acquisition, and the most fruitful, are the legendary Splinters of Yggdrasil. The Splinters are magical artifacts forged from the Tree of Life that wreak havoc on the universe. The missions are perilous, but the bounty is glorious. Enjoy our hyper-fictional wonderland. How is a pirate ship sailing through space? 'Cause magic. How do they heal so quickly after battle? 'Cause magic. How are they able to communicate through jewelry? 'Cause magic. It's all about the characters. Abbo, rough, robotic, ready. Mo, carefree, callous, courageous. Mistress Graven, daring, diplomatic, dominating. Betsy, academic, accountable, aristocratic. Nefara, ancient, assured, adrenaline junkie. Bruto, proud, prominent, protective. Fisty, independent, incendiary, invigorating. Roxy, superficial, scarred, secretive. Once you get to know this diverse crew of mythical miscreants, you'll be anxious to find out what trouble they'll get into on the next episode. Go to abogrizzly.com and order both halves of the first episode today.
In a world ravaged by monsters, a new evil has risen, poisoning the land and threatening humanity. Now, the Monster Matador, along with the meanest and baddest kaiju killers, have joined forces to kick its ass. Monster Matador, after Apocalypse.
Brian Christgau, your book, Six Gun Gorilla, is excellent. Six Gun Gorilla, awesome. Awesome comic book.
We've all heard the stories. We've all heard the legends. Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Billy the Kid. But there's a secret history to the Old West. One that seems too strange to be true, but, well, we all know what they say about the truth. Very big ape, very big guns, blowing very big holes, very bad people. I think the world is finally ready to hear the story of the strangest, the most startling Western hero of them all. Six Gun Gorilla, Long Days of Vengeance.
Secrets, trust, worth. The bond between souls intertwined within otherworldly intrigue. Michaela J. brings forth the Elite Warrior series, a collection of dark fantasy romance novels Set in a twisted world where power lusts in the hearts of men, and devotion seduces the souls of women. Warrior's Secret. Warrior's Trust. And Warrior's Worth. Available now at authormichaelajade.com.
Well, it was bound to happen. Where are Rex and Dave? It's time for your show, guys. I'm not doing this show by myself. I refuse. Where you at, Dave? Send you the link. Rex, send you the link. It is time. I haven't heard from Rex. I heard from Dave. See, Dave is here. I have not heard from Rex. Rex be streaming. Rex be streaming so much that he's burning out. And then when he's supposed to be here, he ain't here. Where you at, Rex?
Yeah, sorry I'm a little bit late, Pops, but I was having trouble myself getting on the internet for some reason. My computer just wasn't wanting to play ball.
Yeah. I figured you'd be here, though, because I'd already talked to you. I haven't heard from Rex at all.
Right. Okay.
I haven't seen him since yesterday. So, I just know he's like streaming all the time now. So,
yeah, I know. I think he was on this morning. Well, this morning, our time, anyway.
Yeah.
I think he was on this morning.
So, if anybody has a way to rattle his cage, Doc.
Well, I can send him a message on Messenger just now, Pops. See if he's around. See if I can find him on here. I'll just send him a message.
Because I know he wanted to do this Batman thing today.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of Batman stuff to show off, so we're going to need Rex.
Well, luckily I've got my usual two or three books.
I know you got a lot, but it would be like all you, and I don't want to beat your poor little arms up, dude. Holding up all them books for all that time.
Well, these books aren't too heavy today, really, so we're not too bad.
I do got a couple though that like just you know how sometimes things just happen? They just happen, right?
Yeah.
I was at the football game with the kids yesterday, and after the game we went and had some food. And right next door to the place we have food is a comic shop in Kalamazoo called Fanfare. So I went into Fanfare, said hi to everybody, did that thing, but also look what they were giving away. Batman books for Batman Day.
That's right. Was that on? Was that yesterday then? Batman Day?
Is it yesterday or today? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday.
But I know I got a couple of free comics for the kids. See that? This one's a mystery case book.
Yeah.
Can you solve these mysteries before the world's greatest detective? And I don't know what Batman Hush is. Is that some new title or something?
Yeah, that's just a story. I think it's been reprinted over here as well, like as a graphic novel. So
okay.
Something like that.
So some Batman found its way into my hands, like, without looking for it. What? Not looking for it. There you go. So how you doing, Dave? How's your week been, bud?
Yeah, it's not been too bad, Pops. Just getting ready for going away next week, and just trying to sort everything out before I go away as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be gone for 2 weeks, and I'm gonna have to worry about whether or not Rex shows up.
Well, I don't know where he's got to. I have sent him a message, but I can start off. I've got a book ready to go. I've got some comic book covers ready to go first, so we might as well as start with these. So these were published back in when was it? Let me just check before we start.
There he
is. He there?
Yeah. You awake, Rex?
Barely. How are you? Haha.
Good afternoon, Rex.
Good afternoon, Dave. How are you, Dave?
I'm okay, thank you.
Yeah.
You missed it, Rex. I was already showing off Batman stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Pops has already shown a couple of his Batman things so far.
Well, that just means I have to watch replay, doesn't it?
Yeah, I might show them to you again before it's over. But I will let you guys do your thing. I will be back here. Just holler when you need a switch.
Well, I need you to share my screen here in just a second.
Okay. I'll bring it up when you put it in there.
That's not it. Let's see. There we go.
Oh. Very nice.
Yeah, that's a newer version of Detective Comics number 27. Now, I don't know if either of you knew this, but today is Batman's birthday.
Oh, today.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, the happy 83rd birthday to Batman.
Right.
I was telling him I went into a comic store yesterday just by accident. Because we happened to pull into a place next to it to eat. But we picked up a couple of freebies because of Batman Day. We got Batman Hush, right? But as you can see down there, it says free.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then one for the kids, the mystery case book. Rex.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, for free. Just and Fanfare's in Kalamazoo. It's a comic store. I've been in a few times, right?
Right.
I went in there one time and for 50 cents I got a autographed She #2. Oh yeah. Autographed She #2. Billy Tucci stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
For 50 cents, bro. It was in a 50-cent bin. I found it. I was like, I said, are you sure you guys selling this for 50 cents? They said it's all yours. I was like, oh, I like the guy.
Well, you would think you would have thought that I planned this out, that Batman Day's today, and then he's 83. But no, it's just like, hey, let's do a character, and it just happened to work out that on Batman Day that he's 83.
How much of a coincidence is that, Rex?
That's what
that's synchronicity. And with Batman, we're going to have to do part 1 and part 2 because Batman is so extensive.
Yeah.
So extensive,
Okay, well, check it out, though. Our boy Dave won't be here for the next 2 weeks.
That's right. Now, are you going to Peru?
I am.
Well, did you know... I think Horror Mike was in my chat earlier. I know Pops was when I was talking to the lovely ladies from the UK.
Yeah, I caught you a short time this morning. Yeah.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry, I didn't see you in the chat. Or
no, I did send a message, but you might not have got it because I was on.
I didn't see it. Yeah, it's when you have those women there, you have to corral them, and that can be a job. So
yeah,
Pops knows because he has all women on his.
I've done some ladies' nights.
You've done some ladies' nights.
A little out of hand. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. He can be a little, handful. Let's say.
I just let them roll, man. I get out the way and let them go.
Yeah. What a difference, Dave. I just read your shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what a difference a Dave makes.
Oh, what a Dave makes. Okay.
Absolutely.
But I heard that Peru had some emergency or something, was declaring something. Have you heard anything about that, Dave?
No, I haven't. No.
You better check into it because he was concerned about you. And I said, well, I know he's doing the show offs today, and so you need to check and see what the state of the country is before you leave, because they were saying something about an emergency or something in Peru, I believe. So,
okay.
Not to alarm you, but I was like, yeah, you need to check into that if you haven't.
Yeah, I will have a look later on.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll see what I can find out online, because I'll be calling in the travel agents on Tuesday anyway to see what's happening.
Mm.
So
what do we want to do next week, Pops? We want to do part 2, you and me, or
we could do part 2 when I come back.
Okay. Well,
if I go.
What do you want to do next week? I thought, if we do, I was thinking if we do Batman, DC Comics, we got to give Marvel equal, so we could do like Spider-Man or something.
Well, next week will be during CromCon, so
during CromCon,
you're probably going to have other
That's
people
right.
out here with you, and we'll just do whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It'll just be a general one next week.
A general. Okay.
Yeah.
Generally ignored. I got it on my own show. That's okay.
You're going to be hosting it by yourself. What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh.
Now you have Doc and me. It'll be cool. It'll be cool.
Oh God, that'll make it doubly hard. Oh, let's see.
you have the whole crew, so you have somebody to fall back on anyway.
Yeah. Probably have a damn bitch in here. And
I'm sure you'll find somebody to stand in for me, Pops.
Yeah. You know what, Pops? I've got a great idea. You know those cardboard standees? We need to have one made of me and one of Dave, and when one of us doesn't show up or oversleeps or something, just put one in there.
We just go like this. Oh, there's the standee. How you doing, Dave?
Right. Exactly.
Then we have somebody in the background going, "Oh, I'm wonderful, having a good day."
And then mine would be, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book.
Speaking of books, or not books actually, but we launched Gone Hunting, that game today. Doc, we played that game last night. Rex, we played that game last night on stream, right?
Right.
Me, Fanta, Max DeVille from Atrocity Press.
Fanta won, didn't she?
Yeah. Fanta won, dude. But that game is fucking fun, man. I was playing again this morning, dude. You got to go check it out. I got the link right there. And I'll tell you what, it's like you can watch 3 or 4 different streams now of people playing it. They're all having a good time.
She was thrilled that she won.
Yeah, she was killing. She's like, I killed stuff.
Now, Fanta's going to be on my Rex Hex and Apex show. It's not mine. It's all 3 of ours. But right. We rotate around who hosts it, and next week, next Saturday will be the time that I host it. I'll be in mourning over Dave having gone to Peru.
That's what we'll do.
Got in a national crisis and was shot down over Peru, I'm
not going if I'm going to get shot down.
This is what
I don't
we'll
blame
do right
you, Dave.
here. This is what we'll do right here, Rex. When Dave can't show up, you bring your partner with you.
Bring my partner with me?
Bring Shadow.
Oh, Shadowhawk, yeah.
Yeah. You could do
if he's willing to do it, you have to ask the guy, it's not like I have a shock collar on the guy.
It's like this, Shadow. Dave can't be here for the next 2 weeks. We're looking for somebody to take his place with Rex.
Oh, yeah, Shadowhawk, I'd love to do it with you, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
just like that. See,
Dave isn't crazy.
No.
He doesn't want to get shot down.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I probably shouldn't have mentioned anything. Then we could have went over there and divided his whole collection amongst ourselves. But we're not that.
Look at he got more.
Dave, we would have took good care of it.
Down. Did you see that?
Hang on, you were both talking at the same time there. I missed both.
We got more reaction out of that statement than we did about talking about you getting shot down.
Yeah.
going after your comic book collection. You went, oh!
Yeah, right. I'm still wondering.
Hey, Shadow. Cool.
Here we are on Batman Day, or Batman weekend, whatever, his anniversary, and Dave still got that silly Superman cap on.
Yeah.
You couldn't find anything Batman?
That's all I've got. That's all I've got. Hang
That's
on.
all I got. Okay.
Hang on.
Oh,
Okay.
Man.
Hang on.
That's all I got.
There we go. Yeah.
got
Can I see that
got
before you
something
try
else
and
for you
stick it
guys.
on there? Yeah, that's Garcia Lopez artwork.
Yeah.
Is that that's a coaster, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I see the back?
You can.
Yeah, look at that. Cork back, thick
Cork
little
back.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
nice.
You guessed what that was. Can you guess what this
Lego Batman.
Can you guess what it is, though?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's Lego
It's a
Batman.
bag.
Oh, it's a bag.
It's
Okay.
a big old bag.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I got stupid stuff, too.
Oh, I got some little Joker Batman Lego sets. Yeah. There's.
Oh,
I
the
mean,
kids
when it
got
comes
all
to
that.
Batman, it's endless, or
kids got all
Spider-Man.
that.
There's been so much stuff produced of both those characters. It's ridiculous.
Hello, Karen.
Like my vinyl bank, I've got a Batman vinyl bank. I had to have this because that's
dude.
the old Adam West.
Yeah, I like that. That's
Battle.
nice.
Yeah, you see the slot there?
Yeah.
Where
Does
you
it,
put
got does it got the place where the flame comes out the back? Yeah, there you go. I used to love
Turbines
that.
to speed. Batman.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had to have that. But how many pennies do you think you can put in that little thin thing?
Oh, I don't know. You get about $8, $10 in there, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, it doesn't seem like it has much room for a bank, but check the old logo out there.
There you go.
Yeah, old Adam West logo. Still got the sticker on there. That's the bottom. But yeah, great little thing because you can't have enough of these. I still have my original Corgi Batmobile
Really?
that I had as a kid, which I would have probably gotten in the 70s. And they produced this Batmobile. This was based off, was it the Futura?
Yeah, I think it was.
A modified Futura?
Ford
Yeah.
Fairlane or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, and they modified it. One of the greatest designs of all time, I think, for a car. It really
Ford's
was.
Cadillac.
I mean, it looks cool as hell, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
Of
does.
course, cars used to have the fins and be futuristic looking, But
I like the cockpit look. That's what I
I
like.
did a poll last night. What is your favorite Batman out of all the Batmans? I thought I would get reaction from, what's his name? Batman was in Batman Forever.
Keaton.
They could have said Val
I
Kilmer.
like
They could have
Batman.
said
I like Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. They could have said, who's the other one?
You got
Oh, he's that
Bale.
lefty piece. Who?
Christian Bale. Didn't he do Batman once?
Well, Christian Bale, but before that, I think he did
Clooney,
Batman.
George Clooney.
George Clooney,
Yeah.
the lefty, yeah.
George
He's
Clooney.
He's got it on the looks. So, but you know what? All three of them said Adam West.
Well, he was the original, man.
Yeah, on TV, yeah. And
But I
and
mean, when it
actually,
comes to the movies, I like Michael Keaton. That first
actually,
I'm
till the
Batman.
1966 Batman came along, they were thinking of canceling the Batman titles.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then they kind of got a surge from the TV show and kind of went in a new direction, less campy. And then, of course, a little artist called Neil Adams come along, And some of his early stuff, he was doing Jerry Lewis. Did you realize that they had a Jerry Lewis comic book pops?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, because he's a man that knows stuff, Hey, I know stuff.
Dave, didn't I photograph you with the original Batmobile? Did you get
Yeah.
photographed, Dave, with the original?
I think she did.
Oh, that's
Quite a while.
awesome.
Quite a
Yeah.
while ago.
I think they have one out in Las Vegas, don't they? Is that a corgi?
It's a replica.
It's a replica, but is it a corgi?
What brand is it? What brand made what?
Who made that? Do you know, Dave?
It was made by, I think it was a firm called Eagle Moss.
Okay, Eagle Moss. Yeah, I'm familiar with them.
Cool.
Is that in the background? Is that the mock-up of like where he used to stop at the police?
That's the Batcave. It's the Batcave.
Oh, it's the back. Oh, that's right, with the big nuclear generator or whatever that thing was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it was campy stuff, but I'm just saying George Clooney, Val Kilmer, all those names that we mentioned, Michael Keaton, what was that, Christian Bale, and then even probably the new one from Twilight, whatever his name is. That's nice.
He said whatever his name is.
Yeah, whatever his name is. Well, that was a ridiculous movie. People were coming out with reviews on YouTube Pops, and they were saying, "Oh, I like this movie because he's more of a detective." But Batman had to be helped along.
Everybody else was giving him all the clues. I know
all the clues. It was an asinine, stupid Batman movie. It really was.
Oh,
you didn't show that he was sharper than everybody else in the room.
It was the one time I wished his rogue gallery would have just dragged a fucking dagger across his throat.
Right. Yeah. I kept waiting for him to turn into a vampire and go back to the Twilight series. But you can't say that it's because Batman was just starting out. Because even just starting out, he's supposed to be Bruce Wayne, highly trained, or at least training, hitting the gym every day, 24/7, training to be Batman. And he studied all those years since the death of his parents, since he was about, 8 years old or 10 years old? So he should have at least a decade of study. He should be the sharpest guy in the room. And I just did not get that from the Batman movie. And nor did I go into it thinking that I would, and I wasn't disappointed. I got exactly what I thought the movie would be about. Bat turd.
I'm going to be honest with you. I never watched that one.
What do you have, Dave? What are you hiding between your legs, Dave?
I have.
Oh.
This one.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna get out your way and let you guys
do. It might be an old VHS, but yeah.
No, it's the first issue of the
Batman 1966,
inspired by the classic TV series.
Yeah, I've not seen that cover. That is directly taken from the Batman 1966 show.
Yeah, I'll just show you what the artwork's like on the inside.
Okay. Yeah. You're not going to be here next week unless Peru blows up in a nuclear holocaust, which is unlikely because they don't have the bomb. I hope you do get to go, Dave, but you need to check into that. Yeah, I really like the retro art in those. I did thumb through a few of those when we had a decent bookstore here.
Right.
It does have a nice style.
It does.
Yeah.
It does have a nice style. There you go.
Yeah. Catwoman.
Yeah.
Did they base the Catwoman on Julie Newmar?
I think they did.
Yeah. She was the best.
I would say so, anyway.
Yeah, she was the best.
Yeah.
She was sexy. She really acted in that role really well. And really, I would say it's probably her most famous role, wouldn't you?
I would.
I mean, I remember her from that.
That's the back cover. Yeah, I would say that too.
Now, Pops, I'm going to share a screen again because I have something to share from online. I do remember watching this on TV. It's a commercial. Let me stop it and back it up and biggin.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready? Okay, I'll play it. Here we go. Whoops, and now it messed up. There we go. Here we go. Back that up.
Attention, family. G, stop by high crime prices. Holy felines, Batman.
I smell like cat, Robin.
Yeah.
Paws off the customers, Catwoman. Listen, folks, only at Zellers are you protected by
the law of Toyland. Nobody beats Zellers prices on toys. Nobody.
Well said, Robin. You're protected at Zellers because the lowest price is the law.
That was quite animated.
Yeah.
Zellers toys. Are you familiar with Zellers? I'm really not.
No, I'm not. No,
but the animation of the exaggeration, it was kind of a fun little ad from back in the day.
Yeah.
But I've never even heard of Zellers toys.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Right.
What you got there, Dave?
This is the second issue.
Oh yeah, with Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Now I remember Eli Wallach played Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Eli Wallach was in The Magnificent Seven. He was in Hunter with Steve McQueen. Later, Steve McQueen's last movie that came out in 1980.
Right.
A little known a movie that's kind of forgotten today. That's number 3.
Yeah.
You finally get the Joker cover, and of course they made Batman look like Adam West.
Yeah, they did.
I'm assuming they made, and from what I've seen, they made Robin look like Burt Ward.
That's right.
And of course, Burt Ward is still alive, and he has his own dog food that he developed.
Yeah. I think I read that. I read that somewhere.
There's the Mad Hatter. He was always fun. Not one of my favorites, but I enjoyed every episode. One of mine that I really remember is it Victor Borgia?
Oh, yeah.
King Tut?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. I really like King Tut.
Yeah.
I think he might have been in either Wild Wild West. That's an all red cover. I can tell by the style.
Yeah.
That does Madman. The Sandman Awakens.
Right.
Was Sandman in the Batman 1966? I guess he was somewhere, huh?
I'm not sure.
Because they did introduce new characters that never made it into the comics. Remember Bookworm?
Well, talking of Bookworm.
There we go. Yep. You remember
It was
Bookworm?
Roddy McDowell, wasn't it? Roddy McDowell.
Roddy McDowell, absolutely right. He was in Planet of the Apes.
He was.
He was in National Velvet as a kid with Elizabeth. Oh, what's her name? Married 8 times. She
Elizabeth
played
Taylor.
Elizabeth Taylor. Thank you very much. Like if your suit is ripped, you want Elizabeth around because she's a tailor and can repair it, right? That's a good way to remember it. False Face, yeah. See, False Face, I don't think was it really in, but you had a clay face.
Yeah.
Yeah. False Face was kind of scary from what I remember on Batman. His mask and everything. There's King Tut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are fun books. And I would say that those are probably most of those, if not all of them, are all red covers.
Yeah.
Because that looks like all red there.
Yeah, there's some good covers on these actually.
Yeah. There's a good look at what Burt Ward would have looked back in the day. Of course, he was in his 20s, so he was young enough to where he's getting up there in age now, but still does conventions and things. Of course, Adam West passed away, some years ago. I was fortunate enough to meet Adam West, Dave.
Right.
I was, and to tell him what an impact Batman was on me, that it was one of my earliest first memories. Got to talk to him for about 10 minutes.
Right.
So until I kind of ran out of, And my then wife, I could tell she was, or soon to be wife, she was wanting to go to other things. I got my shirt autographed by him. It was a Batman shirt. Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
It was later stolen, so I no longer have it.
Right.
Sadly. And it had the old Batman logo like on that, you know.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, and you know what? That reminds me. Wait a minute. Cesar Romero there that played Joker. I actually had a dream, Pops. You might have heard me if you were in on my show the other day. I was in that dream. I just I woke up and came and did my show. Got in the shower and did my show. And I was trying to sign Cesar Romero. I mean, not signing, but I was talking to him in the dream. Of course, he's been passed away for a while now. But I was trying to get him on the 4 o'clock Shadow Show. Yeah. I was like, yeah, wow, I'm having dreams about my own show now. Yeah, that's nice. Now, who's that? The Queen of Diamonds. Yeah. Now, I can't remember the actress who played that.
This was called Marsha. Was she called Marsha somebody? Marsha?
Okay, yeah, probably so. And that was great. You know, it really, everybody was like wanting to get on that show. People like Bill Cosby.
That's right.
You know, made little guest appearances. It was almost like Laugh-In at the time, Dave. Did you see Laugh-In? You know, where you had people popping out of, you know, little things. Well, this, they would be climbing up the wall. And
That's
come out
right.
the window.
They used to pop out the windows, didn't they?
Right. And it was amazing, the little guest appearances they had. Plus, they got to appear as some villains.
Yeah.
That were written into the show. And of course, Batman was so influential at the time. They did 1 year starring a young Bruce Lee as Kato, Green Hornet.
That's right.
But there was only one season of that.
There was.
Of the Penguin, the great Burgess Meredith.
Yeah.
Who did Twilight Zone and, you know, other things within his career. That's just amazing. But he'll always be known as the Penguin. Of course, he was in the movie with, you know who that looks like, Pops? Egghead. Of course, Egghead was Vincent Price. But you know, when he first flashed that up, what came to mind was Steve Martin.
Right.
Does that not look like Steve Martin, Pops?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It really does, in the eyes and everything. Of course, it was Vincent Price in the show, Egghead. He was bald. He wore a ball cap.
Yeah.
And I just watched a thing where he was on the Dean Martin roasting Betty Davis and telling jokes and stuff.
Right.
Vincent Price. He's one of my regrets in life, Dave.
Yeah.
He came to Jonesboro here where I live in 1987, and I didn't go see him.
Oh, no.
You know, and then a few years after that, he passed away. So I regretted doing that. Now, do you know the actress name for Batgirl?
Yes, it was Yvonne Craig.
Yeah, wasn't she a lovely Yvonne Craig that was in the original Star Trek?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was a little green hottie in that, right? She kind of got blue.
On this issue, it shows her looking at the very first issue. She appeared in
green.
Yeah. The Detective Comics, our first appearance there. That's a nice little bit. That does look like another all red cover. Yeah, and in fact, it is. I see right behind that comic is his signature, all red. So he must have done all these. If you're an all red fan, of course, his claim to fame, he's done several things since, but when he first broke into comics and people noticed him, he did Madman, a character he came up with. He went over to Marvel, so he's worked for Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
has a retro type style, very clean style. Don't stack them up and let them fall down, Dave.
Oh, they're okay. Yeah, Rex.
Okay. Just looking after you, Dave.
Thank you very much.
Uh-huh. Oh, look at that. I like the Joker belt. He's got his own
Yeah.
utility belt. There was an episode, wasn't there, where the Joker makes his own utility belt?
Yeah, I think there was.
Yeah.
I think there was.
And of course, speaking of Green Hornet crossed over into Batman, and Batman and Robin crossed over into Green Hornet for an episode.
That's right.
Yeah. There's the penguin again.
Yeah.
Wah, 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 wah. Imprisoned in the bones.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting covers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now that is a takeoff right there, where of an old Bob Kane cover. I think it's Bob Kane.
Where I think it's a homage cover.
Spotlight, huh?
Yeah, I think it's a homage cover, isn't it?
Who's homage?
Homage, H-O-M-A-G-E.
Oh, homage. Gotcha.
Homage. That's
it. That accent's thick today, Dave, and it may be mine. Yeah, homage cover. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Instead of them in a spotlight in that same stance, they have. Oh, is that Solomon Grundy?
Yeah.
Monsters A Go-Go. And is that Clayface or is that a werewolf? What is that?
I think it's Clayface. Is it Clayface? I'm not sure.
Okay, so they're kind of branching out because Solomon Grundy and Clayface, I don't think was in the 66 series, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, so they kind of threw a little different ringer in there so that they don't repeat a lot of characters. And then, of course, Diamond, what was her name? Diamond Lil?
Might have been.
It might have been. You showed it on a cover. But anyway, she was created for the series and not in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of neat because you got characters like King Tut. And now they're all in the comics, aren't they, Dave? And you're showing us the comics.
That's right.
Two-Face there. Of course, that's a famous scene. I think first created because I did have the cover by Garcia Lopez, the same artist that did your Batman coaster. Where and it was in the movie, one of the Batman movies with Clayface, where one half of the room was clean and one half was dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Rex, I'm going to hand it over to you for a minute and let's have a look at
Don't hand it over to me, Dave. You don't know what I'll do with it. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Bring us both up.
Half and
I like
half.
to put pops to work. Bring us both up. There we go.
Oh, half and half.
So, yeah, I mean, you showed a lot of Batman 1966. I'm curious, Dave. What are your memories of Batman 1966? Because you were a lot bit older than me when you first saw it.
Yeah, I'd be what? I'd be about 12.
Okay. So, I mean, you got to experience like yesterday on YouTube, I was watching Outer Limits.
Right.
And that ended right before I was born in 1964. So I really don't remember Outer Limits, but it's amazing I remember anything of the 60s. It really is, because I was like 3.5, 4 at the end of 1969. So I was very, very young, but television made an indelible impression on me. And I do remember Batman. And really, it was years later. I never really thought about it till the early 90s. And a lot of these superhero cartoons started coming out at Blockbuster Video on VHS tape.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I remember that. I'd rent it and I would go, oh, I remember this, because the opener was like Get Smart or Hawaii Five-0 or Gunsmoke or Beverly Hillbillies, any of all of those great golden age. I really think that the 60s was a renaissance time.
Yeah.
Tie-dye shirts and, had some really innovation in it, wonderful hit TV shows like Mission Impossible, Addams Family, The Munsters. I mean, it was a fun time on television, Dave.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of Westerns, if you still liked Westerns. Westerns had a good 20-year run from the mid-50s, maybe longer than that, to the early 70s. Kind of died out in the 70s.
And then you had Sergeant Bilko as well, didn't you?
Sergeant Bilko. There was a lot of comedies.
Yeah.
Definitely. And you had Westerns, I know, were a big thing. A big thing. You had Gunsmoke and Bonanza run for 20 years.
I know.
At that time, that was record on TV.
Yeah.
You know, that people didn't tire of it. So a lot of credit has to be given to, you know, the writers of those shows and the, you know, the production value and everything. But I mean, you know, you had kind of a mixture for the first time of shows. Like Wild Wild West was like a mixture of James Bond and the West.
Yeah.
You know, it was, and James Bond was huge in the 60s.
Yeah. He was.
And, you know, it really speaks well of the Batman show that we call it kind of, you know, on your books there, you know, since it came out in 66, we call it Batman 67. You could call it Batman 66, 67, 68, I guess. Yeah. But some of the first cartoons came out. A lot of them weren't that good. Let's face it. Aquaman, I remember, made it real big for the very first time as a character with the Filmation cartoon.
Yeah.
And he got his own, is something that never happened before. And Aquaman had been around a while, but he was kind of a secondary character since the Golden Age in the back of it, like Adventure Comics and other comics. But he never got his own title. But after that cartoon came out with Aqualad and Tusky, the walrus that they had, I loved underwater adventure stuff, Dave. There was also one called Moby Dick on TV based on the classic novel of the same name. And he would say, and he could speak, and he palled around with a couple of kids that were always underwater in their suits and stuff. They never ran out of air, but he would say Geronimo, you know, like he was underwater, and they would fight aliens and all kinds of stuff. So it was a fun time. 60s was a fun time, and probably the campiest, you know, when we're talking camp, was Batman.
Definitely.
And it's hard to believe that he's 83 years old, made his first appearance in Detective Comics number 27. They say created by Bob Kane, not to take anything away from him, but now a lot of the Bill Finger and Jerry Robertson developed a lot of the Batman lore for him.
True.
And I can see that. I think that's a valid argument that Bob Kane might have came up with the original concept, but then now there's an early drawing of Batman that looks kind of like Jack Kirby's first attempt to draw Spider-Man, which kind of looked like a poor man's Captain America. And I'm kind of glad they didn't go with that design. I don't think Spider-Man would have kicked off the Marvel Universe, you know, unless they had went to Steve Ditko for the design. Same thing with the first design, which was based kind of on Leonardo da Vinci's Flying Man, you know, wings. Which was nice, but you know, it was really Bill Finger that came up with the, you know, a lot of the things. I mean, Bob Kane, sorry, he had influences like Zorro, because he grew up watching silent movies. The Bat was another one, or not the Bat. I'm sorry. Was it the Bat?
No, it might have been.
It's an old silent movie. When you see it, there's actually like the Bat. A large part of the show was Commissioner Gordon would call him on the phone and stuff. I don't think they had like the later movies where they had the bat light up in the sky?
Yeah.
Or well, I think they did in the show, didn't they? In the
Yeah,
60s?
they did in the show.
Okay,
Yeah.
where sometimes they used it, but
Yeah.
most of the time they would just get caught on a phone. Of course, that famous the bat pose. You know, they go into the room and lift up Shakespeare's head, which I thought was genius. And then they would hit the pose, slide down, come out as Batman and Robin. So no need to watch them dressing or anything. Great device for that was made for the show, because that wasn't in the comics.
No.
It really helped save Batman at the time, because people were ready for a more realistic change, a more realistic artist like Neil Adams to come along, I think, Dave.
Yeah, I think you're
they
right.
wanted a change because it was campy, and the people of the 60s, the taste were not the taste, at least here in America, where of the 50s or say the 40s. Taste had changed, you know, and they were still kind of doing the same thing in Superman, the same thing in Batman, and Batman wasn't selling that well, so they were thinking about canceling it. I do have the first issue of where they kind of turned that around and was going in a new direction. He no longer just had the Batman on his chest, but he had the yellow, circle Batman for the first time. And he started a kind of retro, what Bob Kane kind of introduced in those early stories in Detective 27 and others. He started carrying a pistol again for a very short time. Because if you read those first stories, Batman shot and killed people.
Yeah, he did.
Kicked them off buildings. And it wasn't only him. It was heroes in the 40s were portrayed, in the late 30s, and 40s. They were portrayed as justice has been served. Crime does not pay. The villain dies. The villain dies, and often it was the hero that killed him.
Yeah.
And they went against like mad doctors, mad scientists, all kinds of strange stuff. A different sensibility. But then when the 60s came along and you had like the Adam West campy, I wonder if they knew that Batman was going to be as big a hit when it came out. What the expectations were.
Yeah, I don't know.
Of course, the actor that played Alfred was longtime actor. I remember watching him in a 40s sci-fi movie where they were like the Mole People, where he was underground. He was in that. Great. I think he was a British actor, wasn't he, Dave?
I think he was.
Yeah. Had the British accent, which was made a great Alfred. We had to mention Alfred Pennyworth because it's not the dynamic duo, it's the dynamic trio.
Yeah.
Kind of like Jarvis is with the Avengers, he takes care of things while the heroes are gone.
Yeah.
I can see the villains busting into the Avengers mansion and him beating them over head with a vacuum cleaner. In fact, George Perez did an Avengers cover with Jarvis with the vacuum cleaner on it.
He did.
Yeah. And it was the same thing with Alfred. Sometimes in the show, Alfred would, in fact, one of the, I watched a little Batman 66 a while back. I have all 3 seasons. And I also have a bootleg because they haven't released it yet officially. I have a bootleg Green Hornet.
We had an official Batman released a couple of years ago on Blu-ray.
Well, did you hear what I said, Dave? It wasn't a bootleg Batman. It was a bootleg Green Hornet season.
Right.
Because they've never released that as far as I know.
No, they haven't released
But I have
that.
all the episodes to Green Hornet as well. Now, I have the official 3 seasons released of Batman. That's been out a while. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And they've had it repackaged that and sold that and large Blu-ray, and all kinds of stuff. But the Green Hornet, they haven't.
No, they haven't.
And sadly, about a year ago, we lost the actor that played Green Hornet that crossed over into Batman for one episode. The way they did it, Green Hornet and Kato crossed over into Batman, and then for the finale, which was genius, really, it promoted both shows, right?
It did.
They crossed over into Green Hornet.
Yeah.
So you had to watch both shows. And I think maybe they ran back to back. I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure either.
So one must have led into another. Of course, the great innovative thing about Batman that came out in 1966 is they, middle of the week, I believe it was, they would show 2 shows. Not just one show a week, but they showed 2 shows.
Yeah,
so
one night, one the night after.
Exactly, for the conclusion of the story. That was genius. And quite innovative in TV. And I'm not sure that there's ever been, besides a mini series that's shown nightly, I don't think that there's ever been a regular series show twice a week like that.
I mean, the only other series that comes to my mind is Lost in Space, but that was a weekly show, not twice a week.
Yeah, right.
Most
of them ran once a week.
Where it ended on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, but it still showed only once a week.
It did.
Yeah, and that was generally the thing. You could have a cliffhanger type show or a soap opera type show that ends on a cliffhanger, but you would only get one fix a week. But with Batman, middle of the week, you got 2 shows.
Yeah,
and you got the start and the conclusion of it, and that was really neat. I think they were kind of thinking we're gonna need that, because it's so campy. We're gonna need that support really of the show for the show to make sense, and quite innovative. I don't think it's ever been, and that's probably why it's so fondly remembered, Dave.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. What is your overall impression of Batman 1966? Because you were older than I was.
Yeah,
I certainly remember it, but you were older and probably remember it even better.
Yeah, I was 12 when it was first broadcast, and of course,
what did you think about it? What was your impression when it came
out? I quite enjoyed it. I didn't kind of like. I think I treated it more as a serious superhero show, even though it was quite funny looking back at it now.
Right.
But at the time when I remember watching it, I kind of took it quite seriously.
Oh, I did too. Of course, I was even younger than you.
So it's only been looking back in later years that you realise it was also so cleverly done with all the wisecracks going on.
But it was very colorful. It had guest stars.
That's right.
It had the biff, bam, pow. It had it had the logos, the sound effects put in there in the fight scenes. It still stands out today as one of the uniquest. So Adam West, if he got typecast after that, because I know prior in his, and I think there for a while after Batman, and he couldn't get any other acting roles. That he kind of regretted doing it somewhat, because he kind of got typecast with it. But it really made his career, and it really was an innovative show, and it's so indelible in the memory. It's almost like George Reeves. George Reeves, who was the 50s and early 60s Superman on TV that ran for a very long time. He was in one of the greatest movies of all time, Gone with the Wind. He did acting jobs before he did Superman, but I think he felt like he was typecast. And of course, somewhere around here, I have Batman Adam West. He made the cover of Life magazine.
Right. Yeah, he did.
You flashing that up reminded me that I have a copy of that famous Life magazine where he's jumping in the air. I
think it might be in this book,
Of course, Frank Grosjean, we haven't mentioned him as the Riddler.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the Riddler was also played by, help me out here, who was the other Riddler from the Addams family?
It was Frank Gorshin.
No, I already
No.
mentioned him, Frank Gorshin, and the guy from the Addams Family. I didn't like him as well. As a kid, I can remember liking him less than Frank Gorshin. Frank Gorshin really was, and I recently watched a little thing with Frank Gorshin. He was great at doing impersonations and voices and stuff. There's Adam West, the cartoon that a steal from that. Yeah, that was pictured in the show. Very colorful.
Yeah.
It was a colorful show. Started out with a little cartoon, Batman. Anybody that's ever seen it. Now, by today's standards, some people are like, oh my God, hang their head in shame about it. But it really was a show that really saved Batman in the comics and really added to his prestige, I think, over time. I think we look about it in fun and in nostalgia now. And it really was a phenomenon at the time. It was almost like Doctor Who's Daleks. It was huge at the time. And of course, Filmation would do the Batman cartoon. Batman would make it into cartoons in the 70s. He would cross over with Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
There's one of the greats. There's the great Adam West. Yeah. You know, I miss him. I wish I was very privy. He was in, I had seen advertised that he was going to be at a Blockbuster Video.
Right.
To me, I will always have a soft spot in my heart for Blockbuster Video, where you could go rent VHSs and then later discs.
Oh, yeah. John Aston was the other.
John Aston. Thank you for that, Karen.
Karen's just popped
I'm sorry I couldn't remember his name. John Aston from... he will always be remembered as for playing the Riddler, but even more so as Gomez of the Addams Family.
That's right.
And the Addams Family only ran a couple of years, but so did the Monsters.
Yeah.
Even though some things were popular, even like Batman, it only ran for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Adam West was quite the handsome guy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Now, I know he did a movie right before Batman, prior to Batman, and I have a copy of it. It's in the Crichton collection. Space Family Robinson or whatever. No, let's see, what is it? Robinson Crusoe. Robinson Crusoe Goes to Mars. Have you seen that movie with Adam West?
Yeah, I've seen that.
And it's a little campy too. But you know, he probably took it as a serious role. Now, wait a minute before you go on. Show that page again. Look at his Batman emblem on his chest.
Yeah.
That's a different one. He never wore that, as far as I know, in the show.
No, I don't think he did.
And I don't even think that's Adam West and Burt Ward, is it? Or is it? Or is it a different Burt Ward? That must be an early casting call picture.
Yeah, it's
when they were developing the show.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to say, out of all the people I've met, and I've met Stan Lee and others, I think the person that I enjoyed, not just because of the man, but that it was a thrill. He was, you know, I could not adequately, really, without just repeating myself, repeat Adam West enough what an impact he made on my life.
Well, that's it.
You know, because he was one of my earliest memories. And it must have made, in hindsight, and I know when I was saying it, it must have made him feel, because I was in my 30s, it must have been, you know, sounded like I was making him feel old, you know. But I was genuinely appreciative. You know, and there was nobody else around. Nobody was showing up to the Blockbuster Video, really, at least when I went to see Adam West. So it really, that was a boon for me, because I got to talk to him for literally about 10 minutes, which is a long time to talk to, you know, with any celebrity.
That's true.
Yeah, there's the bat pose and the little cushions that they would. Yeah.
That's it.
I think they might have changed those cushions, though. Those look a little different than what was in
Yeah,
the
might be.
show. Of course, the Batcave was just a neat headquarters, and they had a bat everything, right? A bat phone, a bat
That's right.
reactor, a bat computer. Everything was a bat this, bat that. And Batman was a great inventor, right?
It certainly was.
He was kind of like an underground Sherlock Holmes.
I mean, what used to amuse me was that every piece of equipment in the Batcave had the name above it to say what it was.
Exactly. Everything was labeled.
Yeah.
And everybody was trying to discover who Batman was and take his mask off. Everybody was trying to get to the Batcave. And some of them did, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did infiltrate the Batcave. But he always had a way of course, you had a bat parachute, too.
Yeah, that's right.
It really was a neat car, you know.
Yeah, because the parachute came out.
That was kind of jet powered, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
It
was nitrous oxide before or about the advent of nitrous oxide.
That's it.
And then there was the introduction later, not in the first season, I don't think, but a Batgirl, which kind of extended the show, I think. That was a little eye candy for everybody.
That's right.
And, I watched a season, I think the second season recently. The Joker had a Joker mobile in there.
He did. Yeah, I remember that.
Where it was all fleeced inside, with carpeting and whatnot.
Yeah.
Different color carpeting, and it was kind of outrageous, but it was a pretty neat car. And they had the Bat boat. They had the Bat helicopter.
They did.
I was thinking there for a while that I have some pictures of like Adam West and Burt Ward, with the Bat helicopter and other things.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have their actual signatures, sadly, but they do have signatures on there. It's like, copied what their signatures looked like, though. Will the Batman be blasted? Will Burt Ward go on to be famous for dog food? Will Adam West make it back for the next episode? Find out tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Correct.
Yeah. Commissioner Gordon, he was the actor that played him. I believe he was born in 1899. And played Commissioner Gordon, a Hollywood actor of many, many movies and things, and played Commissioner Gordon. And then, of course, you had who else? You had Commissioner Gordon's sidekick, O'Leary.
That's right. I think it was it O'Hara?
O'Hara, okay.
O'Hara, I think it was.
And he played. Was it Scottish or Irish?
Irish.
Yeah, kind of an Irish character. And he was the chief of police. Yeah. I like the black and white photos, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to see some of the behind the scenes shots.
Now, Batman kind of broke the mold in that too, Dave. Batman and Robin were a very vibrant color. Almost psychedelic colors, on TV. There's some of the Biff Bam, Zowie, Zap, Pow, Ouch, Aye. It's one of my favorites, yeah. All those great, probably hand-done letters, and put on the film.
Yeah, it's good, aren't they?
But Batman and Robin, even on the pilot or whatever, if they had a pilot show, I'm sure they did to sell the show, they never really had Batman in black and white.
No.
It was always in color.
I mean, bear in mind that when it was first broadcast over here, Rex, we could only see it in black and white.
Exactly. A lot of people did, though. A lot of people didn't even have at that time a TV set.
No.
If they did, it was probably a black and white because color TVs at that time were expensive.
That's right.
Black and whites were expensive enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, Batman probably was seen in black and white by a lot of people. I probably saw it in black and white.
Well, I know I did.
Yeah. And
black and white.
But I kind of remember it in color, so I don't know how that is. Maybe later reruns of it, so kind of put the color in there. There was one cartoon, Ignatz the cat, I think, or mouse rather, that was in color that I do remember in my memories as black and white. But then when I got some of the cartoons on VHS and watched them, they were garish color. Joan Collins. Wow. Joan Collins seat there.
Yeah.
Joan Collins did Batman, I guess. Who did she play?
Do
you know?
I can't just remember at the minute.
Okay. Well, Joan Collins, I forgot that she did Batman. She also did an episode of Space 1999 later in the mid-70s. And she was also, of course, probably in the fan favorite of all time, Harlan Ellison's story in Star Trek.
That's right.
And I do have an autograph by Joan Collins. I had forgotten that she made at least one appearance in Batman. A lot of celebrities did, even if it was like Bill Cosby just poking his head out,
That's right.
saying hi to Batman and Robin as they climbed up the building, supposedly. Of course, we know they tilted the camera, right? They were really just crouching and kind of walking along the floor. And people were popping up, as they're standing up underneath the stage that they built. Very nice. Very nice. You've got some nice books there, Dave.
Thank you, Rex.
Now, what day will you be leaving, Dave, on your trip? If you go.
If I go Wednesday.
Well, I mean, you really need to check into that because I think they've got an emergency over there.
I'm going to check it out, Rex.
Yeah, I know you will, Dave.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
And see.
That's some behind the scenes things. Those cameras were big back then.
They sure were.
There's Vincent Price as Egghead.
Yeah. I should be going on the government website to check things out.
Vincent Price was a great leading man, and he was known for his horror by this time.
That's right.
And he played Egghead multiple times on the show. Egghead was one of those villains created for the show and was not necessary, to my knowledge, in the comic books.
That's a nice behind-the-scenes shot where it shows the crane supporting the giant umbrella.
And that was used in one of the finales of the show, like when Robin gets trapped in it or something like that.
That's right.
From the Penguin. A lot of those sets have probably been built up over now,
Yeah.
I'm going to get a drink, Dave, and I will be right back.
Okay, right. So this is the Mad Hatter, of course.
That's the Mad Hatter, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, he wasn't the only actor to play the Mad Hatter, was he? There was,
I think there was somebody else. I'm not sure. But
I think there was at least two Mad Hatters.
That was David Wayne in that picture before. You have another black and white picture there. Another behind-the-scenes shot. What else we have in here? Another behind-the-scenes shot. And that was, Bruce Hutchison, that in makeup, I believe. What else we can find? This is when he said all these holy this and holy that. It always started with a holy something, that's for sure. But at least it tells you here, it gives you a full list of all what he said in each episode. But it's a bit too small print. He said a lot of things. That's a drawing there of Catwoman. That's a photograph over there. I think this is the biggest, heaviest book I've got today as well. So while the going's good, I'll just run through a few more of these pictures. Just trying to avoid the glare. It's a nice black and white photo there of the Riddler. And the Joker. We have a painting. A bit hard to see what it says, but I'll hold it up. Very nice painting, that. And one of Rex's favourites, the Penguin.
Of
Just
course,
back
he had
in
the
time.
little waddle. Yeah.
Yeah, just back in time.
Yeah. Now, he did all types of shows. He was, I know, in some very exactly. I know he was in Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Very accomplished artist. I mean, actor. Artist, actor. Yeah. Of course, the Penguin was pretty much like that in the comics. I think maybe his costume was a little bit different color, but
yeah.
Of course, there's Ashton.
Yeah.
As the Riddler, and he was okay. He was quirky and stuff, but now no one could do the Riddler like Frank Grosjean in my mind. He was really, the Riddler was one of his favorites, and when they asked him to do it, he was thrilled because he was a Batman comic book reader as a kid, and the Riddler was probably his favorite character. So he was born to play that role. He'll tell you that in interviews. It seems like so. He just was, and Frank Grosjean was in the original Star Trek in one of the I think season 3.
Yes, he was.
He played a character. So he did at least 2 iconic shows of the 60s appearances, but he really had a reoccurring role. That was the great thing about this show. The Joker could show up multiple times. The Riddler could show up multiple times.
That's right.
Catwoman could show up multiple times. And of course, there were 3 Catwomen.
There was?
There was one movie version, and there was Eartha Kitt and Julie Newmar in the series.
Yeah. As you say, look at the size of the camera.
The camera, right. Unwieldy, cables everywhere. So it's, it was really a different thing to film back then, Dave. Movies or television.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can see some of these nice behind-the-scenes shots.
Of course, color with shows like Batman and Star Trek was a relatively new thing.
Here we go. This is where they're walking up the building.
A lot of it done as staged in studio. It looks like it's outside, but that's staged and in studio, right. I'm sure.
Hang on.
Lit. Yeah, that would have been exactly. He did a great crouching Batman. Look how thin he was back then.
Yeah.
In later life, as men do, they get a little belly on them. And he wasn't, but even back then, he was quite stocky in that utility belt, really. But he was, a fairly handsome guy, really, for a leading man, you know?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, even though it's great that he's known as Batman, and I don't know about his acting abilities, I know, because I've not seen a lot of his stuff prior. I wish I had known, you know, that he had done other things before Batman and knew more of his history. And still to this day, wish I knew more of Adam West history.
Yeah.
So I could have had a deeper, richer conversation with him, you know.
Yeah.
But I was limited. I only knew him as Batman when I talked to him, even though I was in my 30s. Of course, there's a famous actor there that probably started out very, very early in Hollywood as Mr. Freeze. There was more than one Mr. Freeze in the series. So,
how about that for a big picture?
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
See, that place probably doesn't ever even exist anymore.
No.
Is that the world premiere of the movie?
I think it is, yeah.
Of the Batman movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
It says world premiere in person Batman on stage, actually, that.
Does it give a year on that when the movie came out? It was like 66, wasn't it, or 67?
I'm guessing
right
so.
when Batman came out, they did the movie too.
Uh,
After they had established, you know, the Riddler and Catwoman and Penguin and Joker.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Of course, they had the Bat Cycle.
Mm-hmm.
I think you just passed by the Bat Cycle where Robin sits in the rumble seat or whatever they call that, the side seat.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, exactly. Many times they would do that, you know, and stream through there on the Bat Cycle. Yeah, and then, of course, Batgirl later would have her own motorcycle.
Yeah, she did. There's another nice
Bat Vespa. Yeah. Laugh out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look at those colorful costumes.
Yeah, they certainly are. There's another view of the Bat Cycle.
Well, hold the rest of what you have, Dave, unless you're going to finish that book in the next couple of minutes, because I've got to go get ready for my show.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Like I say, we'll have to do the second half of this when I come back.
Absolutely. Batman is a subject that you can dive deep. He's 80, you know, past. I mean, his history goes back 83 years.
Well, that's it.
So you can do a deep dive. I mean, we've concentrated a lot on the Batman show, and look at that. Look at that cycle now. Probably made out of fiberglass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Ivana Craig was a dancer.
Yeah.
Actress. Yeah.
And there's the Batcopter.
Batcopter, right. There for a while, I was thinking the Bat helicopter was only in the movie, but it wasn't. You know, it was in the show.
And the Bat Boat, of course.
The Bat Boat, always speeding and hitting those waves. Just, you know, I guess they had stuntmen driving the boat.
Yeah, I'm guessing they probably did.
Yeah. Yeah, those are really nice. Really nice. Yeah. Of course, one difference with Batgirl, see there, Batgirl's got red hair. That was kind of a wig, but then Barbara Gordon didn't have red hair.
That's right.
In the comics, she did, I think, but
yeah,
in the show, that kind of added to her disguise as Batgirl.
It did that. Mm-hmm.
And I can remember her kicking people in the face or other places with those boots. She was a dancer, so she needed to be able to high kick these villains and stuff.
That's right. There's your crossover.
Yeah, okay. With a young Bruce Lee, that role made him a star in Hong Kong and Asia, all over Asia.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the early profile. There's the Black Beauty.
Yeah.
of course, Green Hornet and Kato predate Batman coming out.
That's true.
Older characters, yeah. That old putty nose and monocle. Yeah. And cigarette holder with a cigarette. That's something you don't see anymore is people smoking on screen anymore, Dave.
That's
very,
true.
very, unless it's a period movie or period piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Lee, he would do a high kick and knock out like light bulbs and, make the place dark. Very nice. Reading the papers and stuff. Culver City says goodbye. Batman goes out on a high. Yeah. Culver City.
Tragedy
California.
at Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
It says.
Wayne Manor. Of course, Bruce Wayne, that was supposed to be a millionaire, right?
That's right.
Had a mansion. And then there's a character that I haven't seen you show. Bruce Wayne's aunt.
Aunt Harriet.
And Harriet, yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen her.
She was prominent in that show.
Yeah.
I think Liberace also did.
Yeah.
He was also played a character that was in Batman. Great Frank
Riddler
Rogen.
again.
Yeah. He was the best Riddler in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a picture of Aunt Harriet.
Very talented. And if it wasn't for Batman, for me, there was Eli Wallach as Mr. Freeze. And then there's Yvonne reading the famous first appearance in Detective Comics of Batgirl. That issue's worth some money now, Dave, in great condition.
I used to have it.
You're one of these collectors that I kind of love, but at the same time, you stab me in the heart every time you say, I used to have it, I sold it.
Yeah.
But it does happen. If you're a collector, if you buy something, you should be willing to let it go.
No, that's it.
Unless it's just a piece that's going to accrue in value, and that you might maybe want your offspring or something to sell. But I've enjoyed it, Dave, and I'm going to miss you, Dave. I hate to admit that, Dave. But and what will I do on Doctor Who Tuesday, Dave?
I don't know, right?
I don't know, Dave. I might have to go through my time shower here and go back and get a younger version of Dave and have him on the show.
Yeah, you'll have to go back in time for Tuesday for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay. Well, I hope you have a safe trip. You deserve it. That's what retirement's all about, apparently. I don't know. I've not reached that age of accountability.
Right. Well, I can recommend it when you get there.
Oh, yeah. Everybody needs a day off every now and then.
If you don't go on vacation, I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe Shadowhawk committed. Hey, JV.
Yeah.
I believe, and hey, Madness.
Shadowhawk said he'd take your place. So, Rex, you're going to have to make sure.
Well, I don't know if there's any taking Dave's place. He's such a gargantuan personality. But Shadowhawk will try and fill in as best as he can.
There you go.
Okay.
And we have some experience. He's my co-host on the 4 o'clock Shadow. I
Well,
think he's pretty good.
I was going to say I've spoken to Shadowhawk a few times on your show, Rex, on Tuesdays.
Oh, yeah. He's a nice guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Salt of the earth.
Yeah. So you might as well just bring your co-host with you.
So I don't know what we're going to cover next week. I'll talk to Shadowhawk.
Well, like I said,
it's
going to be CromCon, so you're probably going to have 4 or 5 other people in the chat. And it's
fast and loose. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe I know Shadowhawk has an extensive CG collection of CG books and independent books that have been published. I mean, he's been one of the biggest supporters. He's backed 360 something projects.
I got a long box behind me. I know that. I got a long box full behind me. So
maybe he'll want to show some of those off. I don't know. But we'll play it. It'll be, we might even come in a little early since it is CromCon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just send us the link and we'll be there.
You know it. We get with that draw stream and then we'll go right into the, right into the
Absolutely.
show just like we always do.
Absolutely. Right. Well, see you guys. I've enjoyed it.
Have a good week. I will talk to you.
I'll see
Peace to the world and all the other people. See, the world and all the other people. You like how I covered that?
Thanks for everybody coming and watching the show offs.
Yeah, it's been good. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll talk to you later. You all have a good night.
Take care.
Yeah. See you next time. Bye.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands are great.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.